What it do, YouTube? I'm Josh.
And I'm Patrick.
And this is Otaku Couch Reviews.
And today we'll be doing our top 5 anime of 2018 thus far.
Emphasis on the hour because this is super subjective and our opinion is not shared by everyone's.
Yes, it is not gospel, so please do not feel offended by our picks. And if you do, well, I'm sorry to hear that. Without further ado, let's begin. And to start off our countdown, number 5, Violet Evergarden.
So what you get on a very basic level with Violet Evergarden is a show that is about a young woman trying to reconcile the last words from her beloved major, I love you. And this becomes her defining motivation for the entire show. But that's just at its very basic and surface level, because what you also see with the show is the interactions between every character that she touches and how the entire country, not just Violet, is dealing with the after effects of a war that has ravaged the country.
A war that's ravaged the country, I would add to that, the show also just kind of shows their rehabilitation to normal life, to a life that her personally she has never known.
Make sure you got a box of tissues with you to get ready for a great ride.
Number 4, 7 Deadly Sins.
So season 2 of 7 Deadly is super action-packed, filled with a bunch more characters, a lot more excitement, and I think my favorite part about it is the fact that they're delving into the lore and the mystery that they kind of set up at the end of season 1, especially when it pertains to the past for Meliodas, the other members of the Sins, and then the royalties such as Elizabeth and her family.
Be prepared for some unexpected conflicts and unexpected developments in this season. No spoilers here, but the return of certain characters make this season phenomenal and broaden the scope in a way that honestly makes 7 Deadly Sins reaffirmed as one of my favorite animes. Personally, one of my favorite characters has just been introduced this season.
Moving along here to number 3, we have Megalobox.
Megalobox, such a fantastic anime. The animation, the music, the overall feel of the anime is sublime. Immediately screamed Cowboy Bebop when I saw it. I personally think that the animation style is the new modern way of doing old school animation. Very reminiscent of the 90s. I love it.
And the thing about Megalobox for me as well is the fact that unlike other sports-based anime, Megalobox is straight boxing. And boxing in itself is explosive. It's exciting. People who are boxers burn bright like stars and they die young.
Joe, the main character, is quite literally the embodiment of that sentiment. Always ready for a fight, always willing, regardless of the odds, regardless of the risk, to himself. Always ready for a fight.
And as Patrick mentioned, this show is a beautiful callback to old school anime of the 90s and even before that. For those of you who know and don't know, this is a reference to Ashita no Joe, which is one of the quintessential anime of all time, and has set the precedent for a lot of tropes that you see in the great anime that we love today.
Number 2, My Hero Academia.
Oh my gosh, there is not anything that anyone can tell me about an anime that does not start and end with My Hero Academia being one of the greatest to ever do it. Like, you call it a reference to Naruto, it's a ripoff of Naruto, this, that, and the other, but no, it has its own soul, has its own beat, it's a reference to the superhero tropes that we all know and love, Superman, Batman, what have you, and it's a reference to the old anime tropes we all know and love.
Yes, exactly, couldn't have phrased it better myself. My Hero Academia, Season 3, so far, a masterpiece, a work of art as always. The events that occur, the developments that happen, the powers, the growth in the characters, the relationships, everything is as phenomenal as it was on the very first episode.
And the high highs of the epic moments are only matched by the depth of the emotional moments that can almost bring me to tears. I don't know if I've seen a show that matches the two so well since Naruto. So before we get to number 1, here are a couple shows that we really loved this season, but just didn't quite make the top 5. Had we expanded the list, they definitely would have been in there, though.
Still fantastic shows. Hats off to the creators. It is not easy making animes, so respect to them. And now, for the number 1 pick, Steins Gate Zero.
This show is the top dog for a reason, man. Not because it has the most explosions, but because it has the most development and planned development for the future. If you are familiar with the first season of Steins Gate, you know that after 7 episodes, you can't assume anything. Everything you think you know about these characters is going to be completely wrong in 2 or 3 episodes. The show keeps you on your toes, and as soon as the action hits, it does not stop for the rest of the series.
And personally for me, why I believe that Steins Gate deserves its #1 place is because of the complexity of the plot and the emotional rouse that you get from watching the development of the story, watching Okabe's plight, watching all of the future Gadget Lab's plight from the original Steins Gate now to Steins Gate 0. All the suffering feels as though you are experiencing it yourself.
And everything loops into a beautiful circle that you know is going to leave you satisfied by the end of it.
And that's it for our top 5.
Thanks for tuning in to Otaku Couch Reviews.
Let us know your top 5 anime of 2018 thus far in the comments down below.
Stay tuned for more content.
Later days.
See you next time on the couch.